We throw the word narcissist around for a self-absorbed boss or a difficult ex. But the clinical reality, narcissistic personality disorder, is far more complex. It isn't true self-love. It's a fortress of grandiosity built to protect a deeply fragile sense of self. At its heart, NPD is a pattern of three things: an inflated sense of self-importance, an insatiable need for admiration, and a startling lack of empathy. They believe they're special, deserving of the best, and are often lost in fantasies of unlimited success. This can manifest as the overt, boastful type who demands the spotlight, or the more covert, vulnerable type who manipulates from a place of victimhood, still seeking that same admiration. So how do you spot one? Look at the patterns in their relationships. It's often a dizzying cycle of idealization and devaluation. One moment you're perfect and put on a pedestal. The next, you're worthless. They have a powerful sense of entitlement, expecting you to cater to their needs without question. And watch their reaction to criticism. Even the mildest critique can trigger disproportionate rage or cold contempt. They don't just disagree, they devalue you to restore their own feeling of superiority. Ultimately, interacting with someone with NPD is emotionally draining because the relationship isn't a two-way street. It's a stage, and you're either part of the adoring audience or you're being pushed off it. The shocking truth is that behind the mask of supreme confidence isn't strength, but an abyss of insecurity, a void that no amount of praise can ever truly fill. It often begins like a fairy tale. They shower you with affection, compliments, and intense attention. It's called love bombing, and it's a tactic designed to make you feel like the most special person in the world. You're hooked, emotionally invested, and trust is established quickly, and that's exactly where they want you. Then the switch flips. The praise is replaced with insults and subtle put-downs that chip away at your confidence. Your achievements are dismissed, your talents downplayed. This is the devaluation phase. You're left wondering what you did wrong, desperate to get back to that initial fairy tale feeling, which you now work tirelessly to earn back. To keep you off balance, they use a playbook of manipulation. They'll gaslight you, twisting facts and denying reality until you question your own sanity. They might use triangulation, bringing a third person into your dynamic to create jealousy and isolate you from your support system. They project their own flaws onto you, accusing you of the very things they are guilty of, so they never have to take responsibility. When they sense you pulling away, or when they simply grow bored, they discard you, leaving you feeling alone and worthless. But it's rarely permanent. Soon, they'll start hoovering, named after the vacuum cleaner, trying to suck you back in with apologies, fake promises, or manufactured crises. This cycle of idealization, devaluation, discard, and hoovering is the trap. It's a form of psychological abuse that systematically erodes your identity until you barely recognize yourself. But understanding these tactics is the first step to breaking free. It's about reclaiming your reality and realizing the fault was never yours to begin with.
It rarely starts with a monster. It starts with a mirror. Someone who sees you, idealizes you, and makes you the center of their universe in a dizzying display of affection. This is love bombing, the first stage in a predictable, devastating cycle. Then the mirror cracks. A small criticism, a belittling joke that isn't really a joke. You find yourself walking on eggshells, constantly trying to get back to that perfect beginning, wondering, what did I do wrong? This is devaluation. Your self-esteem is systematically dismantled, piece by piece. The most insidious tool they use is gaslighting. They will deny things they just said. They will twist your words until you no longer recognize them. They make you question your own memory, your perception, your sanity. They are masters of projection and blame shifting. Their rage is your fault. Their failures are because of something you did. And you start to believe it. Not because you are weak, but because blaming yourself offers a strange, illusory sense of control. If it's your fault, then maybe you can fix it. If you just try harder, are a little quieter, a little better, you can win back the person from the beginning. This deep, confusing attachment is called a trauma bond. The long-term psychological damage is profound. Complex PTSD, chronic anxiety, an eroded sense of self. You live in a state of hypervigilance, your own mind a source of constant doubt. But please hear this. The self-blame is the final, most powerful trick of the abuser. In understanding that it was a cage they built for you, not a truth about you, is the first step towards freedom. It was never your fault.
It begins like a fairy tale. They shower you with affection, praise, and grand gestures, making you feel like the center of the universe. This is love bombing, the first phase of a predictable cycle. It's designed to create a powerful dependency. Then the script flips. The praise turns to criticism. You're blamed, put down, and made to doubt your own reality, a tactic called gaslighting. This devaluation phase slowly erodes your self-worth. You find yourself working harder and harder to regain that initial approval, to get back to the fairy tale. This is the cycle of narcissistic abuse, and leaving is incredibly hard, not because you're weak, but because of something called a trauma bond. It's a powerful attachment formed through these repeated cycles of abuse and intermittent kindness. You become psychologically addicted to the abuser, clinging to the hope that their good side will return. Breaking free starts with recognizing this pattern. The most effective step is often no contact, cutting off all communication to break the trauma bond. When that isn't possible, perhaps with a co-parent or coworker, there's the gray rock method. You make yourself as boring and unresponsive as a gray rock. No emotional reactions, no personal details. You deny them the attention they crave. Healing is about reclaiming the self they tried to erase. It's rediscovering hobbies, rebuilding trust in your own perceptions, and learning that you were never the problem. The abuse was never your fault. The journey back to yourself is difficult, but it begins with one decision: to choose your own reality over the one they created for you. And that is where your freedom begins.